You're listening to Inspiration Now, and I'm your host, Keith Delmar. On today's show, we have Abbie Wood from Grow Easy, the youngest entrepreneur I know. Abbie, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
You're so welcome. I'm so happy to have you here. I'm going to launch right into the questions today, Abbie, and I'm going to say, Abbie, what inspires you?
There are so many things that inspire me, but one of the biggest things is, as an entrepreneur, it's creating something that's your own. So starting my business from nothing has meant that what inspires me is to get out and build what I've created, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
So, just seeing my hard work pay off and good things come from it, good learning, and that really motivates me to get out there and
So working on what you've created, building on what you've created, that gets you going.
Yes, there are lots of people out there that inspire me too. One of them is Alexia Hubertadu. She is the founder of Girl Boss New Zealand.
Yeah.
So she's also a young wahine toa who is out there doing cool stuff. She started Girl Boss at 16, and it's a platform for young girls to get into entrepreneurship, science, maths, engineering, all sorts of different things. And yeah, she really inspires me to.
She is very inspiring.
Give things a go.
I've been to one of her talks, and she's very inspiring.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And also the local people as well, the artists, the makers, the shakers, the side hustlers. People. Out there doing cool creative stuff, so that really inspires me.
Yeah, well, I tell you, I will now give a bit of background on what you have here, Abbie. So Abbie, you've created a business called Grow Easy.
Yes.
And you create terrariums, is that how I would say it?
Yes, terrariums, indoor plants. Yeah, that's my thing.
That's totally your thing, and they're absolutely gorgeous and beautiful the way you present them and put them together. And so you sell these. Where do you sell them? How do people get them? Things like that.
So one of my main places is the Collaboration. So it's a collective of small businesses, New Zealand-made products, artists, and all things design, creative, fun. And so they've got their permanent shop launching soon. Yes. So I've been with them for 2 years, and they've been doing pop-ups.
Cool.
And so that's really where I've built my presence. When I started, it was markets and also social media and my home studio. So I'm everywhere as much as I can be, with school and all that. But yeah.
And how was it? What was the first thing that got you started with Grow Easy? What was it? Just growing for yourself or growing for family members? How did it all start?
So it all started as a little idea at primary school. So when I was in year 6 at Franklin School, shout out to Mr. A and my class at Franklin. Awesome time. We did a school project. So my group's idea was jars. So reusing jars to create some little products to sell at our carnival to make some money for the school. And we went on Pinterest and got lots of ideas and things. And for me, I really loved the idea of the terrariums with the little miniature succulents, some stones, and they sold out within, I'd say, half an hour. It was crazy. And I think that was when I first went, oh, that's quite cool. Maybe, I could do something. And then the next year, in sort of February, March, I went to Money Tree Business School for Kids. So that was run by Helen Griffiths at Rumpus Room.
Okay.
The indoor kids playground.
Yep.
So it's closed now, but at the time, it was awesome. And it was a great opportunity for me to learn the basics, some key things, Helen passing on her knowledge and experience through her multiple different ventures. And that really inspired me to go, oh yeah, that was a cool idea, that worked, maybe let's see what I can do with that. So
So you took an idea, you took an experience that you had and said, okay, and you lined it up with this learning about entrepreneurship and learning about money and how things work, and you put the two together, and then is that the point you said, okay, I'm going to create a name for this, I'm going to try to do some work with that?
Yes, so part of Money Tree was we had to come up with a name, an idea, a product or service, or, thinking small, thinking realistic. So I sort of bounced around names with my parents and tried to come up with something that described what I wanted to do, which was grow some easy care plants and just do it in a creative, beautiful, nice way. And I think I only started this business with about $30 or $40, which I raised by selling off some of my old toys and at a kids market. So I decided, I'm going to have some money so I can go out and buy some supplies and start this up. So that's what I did, and
that's great.
From there, I've just slowly built it, putting money back into the business and trying to grow it, and so it's been really good.
Yeah, that's
lots
awesome.
Of learning. Yeah.
And so after when you went to Money Tree, it was Money Tree, right?
Yes. Yeah.
How old were you then?
I was 10, turning 11.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's a little while ago now. It's gone so fast, though.
And you're now 14?
I'm 15.
15.
Yeah.
Well, I have to say, you've done a great job of putting this business together, and it's really fun to see it fruiting and people, buying these plants and really taking care of the community, your offering is very specific. It's plants for people that don't, one, want these type of beautiful plants, but two, that struggle with taking care of indoor plants.
Yeah, and easy care for people with busy lives. You want something beautiful for your home, bit of lush, something fresh, something to look after, but, that fits in very easily with the rest of what's going on. So,
and you do it beautifully. So, well, my experiment here at the show is to bring on people that inspire me. And you totally fit the bill, so thank you for that. And I want to flush out the questions that sometimes I think a lot of us have, but we don't ask. And we don't even have the opportunity to ask people that inspire us these types of questions. So I put together a list of questions, and it's my hope with this show to start asking my audience these questions. Now, show's not technically perfect. Volumes might be up or down. But we're learning here, right?
Yeah, all learning.
All learning. So I'll get into my next question.
Go for it.
Abbie, how do you overcome fears that you have?
And that's a hard one. And we all have them. And I think one of the most important things is that I've found is focusing on the positives that come out of facing that fear. What will happen if you get over it and get to the other side? And for me, one of my biggest fears at 10, 11 years old was talking to adults. Going into, it's different to something like sport or music or, something that's, there's heaps of kids doing it, and it's not pretty normal, for me, going out and talking to adults and trying to be able to be confident and stand up for myself and sell my product and share my story was quite a challenge for me at first, and because I was that shy girl at primary school a few years back, or even last year or so. I wouldn't be doing this. It's a big step, and I've come a long way. But I think, you can't go forward if you don't face those fears, because it honestly helps you grow and learn so much. And I think that's what helps me do it. Yeah, and seeing things that I've done in the past and actions I've taken, people I've reached out to, and seeing how it's paid off and helped me, and maybe also helped them. I think that's really cool. So yeah.
So going out there, doing it pays off. It really does.
It does, and I've got to remind myself, because all the time. There's always going to be a new fear, something that's, the next thing that you go, oh gosh, I don't want to do that, or oh, I'd love to do it, but you just got to bite the bullet and just go, yeah.
It seems that you've built up a reservoir of good outcomes to leverage off of, and saying, hey, I was afraid of that. I pushed hard, and here's the result. And it's a great result. So maybe this could be the same thing for the next fear. And a lot of the fears that hold us back in business and stuff like that are pretty unfounded, but they're quite real to us.
Yeah.
And we have to
I mean, this is a bit raw, but I was afraid of phone calls. It would freak me out, and having to call up a customer, it's just a simple message, just saying, oh, your plant's ready to pick up or something,
Yeah.
It was just something that I had to keep going, yep, I'm going to just have to do the phone call. My mum was like, yep, you're just going to have to do it. And once you've got over that fear, it just becomes easy.
That's awesome.
And, yeah.
Well, I'd just like to say that there are adults listening to this, watching this right now, that have that same fear now. Okay, in their 30s, their 40s, their 50s, their 60s, their 70s. Do I have to go on? Yeah, 80s, 90s, 100s. So moving towards it early and nailing it down, congratulations on that. It's just one stepping stone you're just not going to have to take when you're 40 or 50.
Yeah, there's always something new, that you've got
right.
to overcome, and yeah, everyone's got their different things,
Yeah.
and yeah.
And there isn't any time limit on it. Anybody can take that step when they're ready, right?
Absolutely, yeah. And for me, starting my own business was a step that I've taken a lot earlier than quite a few people, and that's why it's I don't meet many other people like myself. They're out there. I know they're out there, but yeah, and I've also had lots of really supportive people too, and that's helped me build up my confidence to grow and to take things further. So yeah, I've been very lucky with a support network. Yeah, my family and lots of cool people.
That is awesome. I'm so happy that we're talking today. This is so enriching to my life. Now, Abbie, what would you say? Now, I sent Abbie some questions ahead of time, but this one wasn't on there. Don't be afraid. It's the opposite to one of the other questions I asked you. But This one is, what would you say your superpower is when it comes to doing what you do? Where maybe do you thrive? What's your superpower?
Well, something quite weird, but it's also very helpful. I can remember my customers. I can remember their faces, their names, and often what they bought.
Awesome.
And I think that's, I can't really remember some of my schoolwork and some of the stuff I should be remembering sometimes. That I'm like forcing myself to try and remember. But I think for me, over time, it's just, I've just remembered stuff about people, and I think that's really good because it means I can have a connection with people, my customers, and I genuinely get to know them, and I think that's I think that's really nice that I can I remember stuff like that.
That's a definite superpower.
Yeah, and I can when they come back as repeat customers, it's really nice. It's a real personal experience, which is nice. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, that is such a beautiful thing for the customer as well. To come and experience that communication with you, and you're remembering what plant they had. And,
how's your Sansevieria or your succulent or whatever they got. Yeah.
And now for question number 2. And now for my next question.
Yeah.
What is hard for you? What are you not good at? Where do you struggle?
So an area that I need support in is driving. Because at 15, I don't have my driver's license. I can't go for it yet. And one of the things that does hold me back a little bit is not being able to drive myself around, get to places, and and get stock and deliver stuff to people and drop stock to the collaboration and all that sort of thing. So I'm very lucky that I have mum and dad who are my taxis. I'm really looking forward to when I can drive and have that barrier taken down. And I think I'm always learning. There's always more to gain, and there's so many people out there with a wealth of knowledge that are ready to support me and help me with those things that I may be not so good at yet. And
Absolutely.
So I'm getting there.
So a shout out to anybody in New Plymouth with a courier service that would like to contribute to Grow Easy's success and frequent trips to Spotswood and downtown. Hit Abbie up, support a local entrepreneur, and you can maybe get could somebody have some meetings with you and get some lessons, some entrepreneurship lessons? You could talk business with them. And that is one of Abbie's passions, is talking entrepreneurship with people. So
yeah, I love it.
If you need to have a cup of coffee with somebody to talk, looking for a mentorship, is it in your cards? You'd be happy with hanging out with somebody and chatting about business?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm always learning off other people, and I also have areas that I've learned lots about, especially being in the younger generation, surrounded by technology, social media.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the areas that I really enjoy, and it really clicks for me. So
what's one tip you could give all the listeners today? They have a small business, or they're thinking about a small business, and they're thinking about utilizing social media. What would be your one little social media tip?
Well, for starters, get on there.
Yeah.
Facebook, Instagram, especially Facebook. I mean, they're amazing, powerful platforms to connect with your target market and really create a personal, real genuine relationship with your customer community and build it. And I think sharing content and photos and what you're up to really creates a really nice community.
Yeah.
And I think just post, get out there, and
share.
Yeah, just share. And absolutely. I think that's the main thing. From there, it's just building up your following base and trying out some new stuff, seeing how it goes, and maybe if it doesn't perform quite as well, maybe try something else. I'm always trying new things and seeing where social media can take me, because it's an amazing platform. Yeah.
So it sounds like you got a really good support base out there. So when you have questions and you need things, you ask for it. But if there's anything that is on your mind right now that you need this week, this month, this year, is there anything topical that you need help with that maybe you haven't found yet? That we could just give a shout out to the world of LinkedIn and Facebook and Instagram?
I think I am pretty lucky with the people that I've got. I'd like to mention a few people that have really helped me.
Yeah, go for it.
One of them is Helen Griffiths. She's been mentoring me from the start. And
Helen Griffiths, who else?
And Andre from Liquid Media.
Mm-hmm.
He has offered his advice and support around the social media and videography. He does all sorts of cool stuff. He's local, and
he sure is.
And
Andrea, shout out to Andrea.
Yes, and Anna and Philippa at the collaboration are also amazing mentors for me.
Hey everybody, this is the end of the show. I'm going to wrap up. Check out Abbie at Grow Easy NP.
Yes.
Okay, on Facebook and Instagram. Abbie, you're amazing. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
And we will see you on the social media. We'll be buying your plants. We're here to support you. You have an awesome day.
Awesome. Thank you for having me.